Hello. Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it. Look at this. Microphone. There's a big old dent in it. Do y'all see that? What a shame. My dog immediately wants to leave because I started talking. 1 second, please. And now my big fuzzy jacket has fallen to the floor. Let's get into it. Yeah, I feel like, okay, this is crazy. I haven't made a video in a long time, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But I bought a microphone, which is crazy because I bought a microphone and then proceeded to not use it for months. Like, this was like $100. Like, I'm not rich. So I probably should have planned this out or scripted it or something, but I work better off the cuff. This last year was a rough one for me. That's why you didn't hear from me. I don't think I should get into it. Don't really want to. Don't think I'm at a place where I can. And that's okay. That's okay. When I first started this channel, I was so messy. I would record so many like raw moments and I would just really like pour myself out there. And I just needed that outlet, I think, at the time. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm pretty proud, I guess. I don't even know if proud's the right word. I'm proud of the work that I did at that time, like for myself, but also like the practice that I got making videos, because it's just helped me a lot in my life and it's something I always wanted to do and I still want to do. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, but at the time I just didn't have a lot of direction. I still kind of don't, but at the time I think that's just what made sense for me. It made sense to combine is that a mosquito? Not in this house, motherfucker. Oh, he's hiding. He knows. He knows that I know. Show your face here again and see what happens. We don't mess around with mosquitoes. I don't know what I was talking about. I just used to be really raw and real with this channel. It was really an outlet for me and like an escape for me. And at some point that kind of just went away. I started putting a lot of pressure on myself, especially when I kind of started like telling friends and family that I had a channel. I started feeling like, okay, I need to make sure it's like impressive enough, you know? So I started to overthink everything, which is like my favorite thing to do. My brain loves to overthink, and it's real good at it too. But it stopped being fun for me, and I feel like every time I have a nice outlet to express myself, I start to overthink that and then kind of ruin it. You know, I kind of just stopped for a while, and there were so many things happening in my life, a lot of good things. One of the last few videos I made was about how 2020 was a great year for me, which is bizarre to say, but it really was. It was a good year for me and my family. It wasn't until 2021 that, you know, I still had a pretty good year personally. There were some unfortunate things that happened for my family, but overall, I was okay. I was doing well. But by the end of the year, I started to notice that something wasn't right. I wasn't checking in with myself. Something was wrong. And this last year, it just kind of all hit the fan. And yeah, I'm not going to get into details again. I'm already starting to, which I shouldn't. But it was a rough year. But I feel very strongly that 2023 is going to be a really good year. Part of that is that I want to do this again. I feel like I always make a video and then I'm like, I make like a promise or I make some kind of resolution for myself. And it is the new year. So it would be an appropriate time to make a resolution. But I will not be doing that because every time I do that, it doesn't go well for me. I think my resolution is to just make sure this is a good year. I don't know if I'm moving the mic too much. The audio is probably terrible. This is my first time using a mic, but I feel powerful holding it. I feel like I have something to say. Anyways, I'm ready for 2023, but 2022, let's talk about it. It was rough, and honestly, I don't think it was just rough for me. I think it was rough for a lot of people, and here's why. Here's my theory. My theory is that 2020 was traumatizing, obviously, to kind of just wake up one day, and obviously COVID-19, the pandemic, Miss Rona, she had started making her appearance at the end of 2019. So it's like we knew she was coming. I had to adjust some things. You know, we saw Miss Rona coming. We did. But I don't think it really hit. Like, there was a couple weeks lead up where there was a lot of conspiracy theories and people were talking about the apocalypse and everything's going to shut down and stuff. You know, I knew it was going to be a big deal, but I thought, like, people were making it sound like the end of the world. I knew it wasn't going to be the end of the world just because I was promised the end of the world in 2012 and nothing happened. So, I'm just kidding. I'm glad the world didn't end. I was really scared in 2012. I said that Mayan calendar had said that 2012, we were all going to die. And I believed them. I really believed them. And nothing happened. So when people were talking about it being the end of the world again, I didn't buy it. But I knew something was going to go down. And me being a germaphobe, I was mentally preparing myself for that. I'm really getting carried away here. Basically, it felt like at some point, just overnight, like I remember the day that they announced the lockdown and I was like, wow, like this is for real. And that was a crazy time. I was really, really depressed for those few months of quarantine. I just didn't know what to do with myself. Turns out I'm a pretty social person. I think there was a lot of trauma and now we're coming out of it, you know, so much of our lives for 2 years were just revolved around Miss Rona. Now it's kind of just a part of our lives. I think there's a lot of PTSD that a lot of us are struggling with. It's kind of a lot to process. Like, okay, what just happened those last 2 years? Because my life completely flipped upside down in a lot of good ways, but in some bad ways too. And just, I know I'm not the only one. Just things changed a lot. I think 2022 was like, wow, we're supposed to go back to reality, basically. Because I feel like 2021, people were still getting vaccinated. There was the Omicron. I started 2022, ended 2021 with Miss Rona by my side. And it was not a great way to... My dog just lost her mind. It was not a great way to start the year, but I feel like 2022 was like, okay, after the Omicron, pretty much everybody had a vaccine or had COVID or both. It was just unavoidable at that point. Now we're all at a point where we're like, okay, here we are. Time to go back to normal. But you can't go back to normal after that. What's normal now? I don't know. 2022 was a weird year and a bad one. But this year's going to be good. I feel it. Now that we're ending 2022, I want to take a look at I don't use Spotify, I use YouTube Music because I have YouTube Premium. Because I'm a YouTube stan. You know, I stand by YouTube. I stand by Miss Susan Wojcicki through thick and thin. Okay? I stick through the good times and the bad. And so I use YouTube Music. So that being said, I don't have a Spotify Wrapped, but I do have a YouTube Music recap. So I will be going over my recap with you. Okay, let me grab my phone. So I've gone ahead and saved the important stats about the recap. So this year I listened to 20,114 minutes of music. I don't know if that's good. My top artist of 2022, and I would venture to guess possibly 2021, maybe. I don't know. My top artist of 2022 was Stray Kids. This is not surprising to me. 2,214 minutes streamed. Let's do some math. 2,214. How many hours is that? 36 hours. I spent 36 hours. Hold on. That's a day and a half that I was listening to Stray Kids. A day and a half? Look at this. This is Stray Kids merch. Let me flip over. I got this when they were in LA. I'm in stay, or I am stay. I don't know grammatically how that's phrased, but yeah, I love Stray Kids, okay? I was in the top 0.3% of Joji listeners. That's pretty cool. You know, I'm a big fan of things. I'm a dedicated fan. I think that really speaks for itself. My top artists of 2022, no surprise. Number 1, Stray Kids. Number 2, Joji, obviously. And I would venture to guess those were the top 2 for 2021 as well. I don't know which one would have been number 1 at that time. Number 3 is Gorillaz, which is my favorite of all time. Number 4 is Slow Tie, which is pretty cool. I didn't think Slow Tie would be number 4, but I was listening to a lot of Slow Tie. I was bumping Nothing Great About Britain. Did my cat just walk in? He did. You gotta whisper. Yeah, I was bumping Nothing Great About Britain a lot. There's my cat. A lot this year. And then number 5 is Doja Cat, which is, you know, I guess not surprising either. Who doesn't love a good Doja Cat song? I love all her hits. She's a really good artist. I specifically remember in February, I went to San Diego with my boyfriend for Valentine's Day, and it was quite lovely. I just licked the microphone. And Doja Cat came on at this Korean barbecue restaurant that we were at. And he was like, is this Rihanna? And I was like, have you been living under a rock? Do you not know who Doja Cat is? And he was like, I have never really listened to Doja Cat. And I was like, time to get on it. So I then proceeded to play her on repeat for the whole rest of the day. So I think that played a big part of it. Because then after I was playing her on repeat, I realized just how many Doja Cat songs I like. And then I just couldn't stop listening to Doja Cat. So I've been really blessed this year, no matter how hard it was, to have seen all these artists this year. And these are like bucket list artists. I've been wanting to see Gorillaz for a long time. Okay, long, years and years and years. And this year I saw Gorillaz, Joji, and Stray Kids. I saw Stray Kids when they were in LA. I saw Joji at Coachella. I saw Gorillaz and Slow Tie at Life is Beautiful. And that was a wonderful time. Doja Cat, I did see her at Coachella, but I was getting a lemonade and I was very far away. Because I had already seen her in November at Day in Vegas of 2021, and it was a Sunday. My friends were like ready to go. I was like, I'm all right. I can see Doja from here. She's a wonderful performer, by the way. Wonderful. I would have loved to see her again, but just wasn't working out that day. My top track was Charmer by Stray Kids. This one's a little surprising to me. 52 listens. I like that song, but it's definitely not my favorite Stray Kids song. I was bumping Ordinary like all year. Ordinary is so good, but Charmer is not the first song. I think they just kept recommending Charmer to me on my recommended, because YouTube has this really cool recommended thing. You can just hit for your mix and it just plays songs that the algorithm knows you like, and it's always correct. But it was playing Charmer a lot, I think. Yeah, so I think that just kind of added to that. I loved this remix, Whole Lot of Money remix. I don't know. I like that song. I think this was getting recommended to me a lot, and I wasn't skipping it. I wasn't skipping Doja. I wasn't skipping any of the things that are being shown to you. So, yeah. My top tracks of 2022. Okay, 3 of these songs are from Ordinary, and they're the first 3 songs from Ordinary, because I would start the album on short drives and then I just wouldn't finish it, probably. Oh, I actually didn't look at this closely. My top tracks: number 1, Charmer; number 2, Maniac; number 3, Glimpse of Us by Joji. Come on, good song. Number 4, Venom. And number 5, The Less I Know the Better by Tame Impala. Interesting. I really was into that song this last year. Don't know why. There it is. My top genres: 25% independent music, 18% hip-hop, 11% pop music, 11% K-pop, 10% rhythm and blues. My music was high energy this year. 59% of my music was amped up. I think anybody would tell you that. I stay loyal to my fave tracks. 66% of my listening in 2022 was songs on repeat. Yeah, I don't explore. Yup, I love trends. 75% of the songs I listened to were hits. I listened to NMIX when they only had 112 million streams. Current streams 403 million and counting. This is true because I was trying to get into girl groups and I knew they were from JYP, which is Stray Kids group. So I was like, well, they're probably good. And they are. They are really good. My birthday party playlist was my most popular playlist, 829 minutes listened. I don't know if that was me or if other people were listening to my playlist, but that's pretty cool if they were. My music personality is the beats boss. I lead the trends and always keep the party amped up. On trend, loyal, and amped. Period. And then there's my recap. I thought that was kind of interesting. This is the music that really got me through this tough year. I think Stray Kids was definitely my number 1 because, when stuff gets hard, K-pop can really just take you out. I was in a fantasy for a little bit. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to stress. Stray Kids specifically was an escape for me. And I think Stray Kids is an escape for a lot of people. And it kept me going. A lot of this music kept me going. Joji has kept me going for years. Okay. I just like to look at that music because looking back, I think that's such a positive thing because I'm looking at those songs. I'm like, and those artists, and I'm like, man, that's good stuff. Musically, I had a pretty fun year, and especially watching all these live bands that I've been able to see, that's been pretty cool. I don't know, that's 2022. Here's to 2023. Am I right? I think I'm going to do a little fun fact at the end of every video. Fun facts about me. So here's my fun fact for today. My fun fact today, because today I held my pee for a really long time, and it reminded me that the first time I held my pee for a really long time was when I went to see King Kong. It's nice having my phone while I film so I can just look stuff up. The Peter Jackson King Kong, which has a runtime of 3 hours and 21 minutes. And let me tell you that I had to pee pretty badly when they got on the island, which is towards the beginning of the movie. So I still had 3 hours to go and I already had to pee pretty bad. So I proceeded to hold it for another 3 hours. I don't know how I did that. And I was 10 years old when this movie came out. So I was 10 holding my pee for like 3 hours. And I feel as though that instance, that time, I did irreparable damage to my bladder. So learn from that fun fact and don't hold your pee. Go pee. You won't miss anything. It's weird. It's part of it was because I was really into the movie, and the other part of it was that I kind of just wanted to see if I could hold my pee for that long. And I did. Could I do that now? Absolutely not. I'm not 10. Wouldn't you think a 10-year-old would have a harder time though? I don't know. I don't know. The other thing that I want to bring back that I stopped doing is the recommended YouTuber of the day. So my recommended YouTuber is going to be World of Extra. I have been watching his videos nonstop. They are so relaxing, but also really funny and entertaining and interesting and engaging. Also, if you're a weeb, very informative. You're getting to see living in Japan from someone who like is Japanese, but he's also a YouTuber. And I feel like it's super authentic what he's presenting, which is pretty cool. And I really like it. Also, he's gay, which is a completely different perspective that a lot of times we don't get to hear. I recommend his channel. Go check it out. But that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This went on so much longer than I wanted it to. I have a lot of editing to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love y'all so much, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.